Welcome to my live. Thank you for the rose. Thank you for the rose. Gang, gang. Welcome to the moronic world of digital panhandling. So here's where I'm at. A new age of disparity is upon us, and social media companies are going to be more than excited to reward you for it. Think for a second the only goal of a social media company. They want to keep you on their platform for as long as possible, while also giving up as little control as possible. First, a parallel to my point that I want to make. My friends were obsessed with Grand Theft Auto 5. And at first, it was really fun. When it was new, this was something totally different, and it's a whole new digital world. You could do anything from the classic Grand Theft Auto antics, stealing cars and taking money, but you could just spend the day playing tennis or running errands. You could literally live a life in this digital world. And what I came to notice was you were accomplishing in the game very little while also giving it so much of your time. You could easily get money from this mission. All you got to do is go all the way to the other side of the map and back. Little do you realize that it takes about an hour to do that. So you get what you wanted. Ooh, look, I got pretty far on a pretty easy mission. At the same time, you've lost half your day. And TikTok has been the most successful social media at accomplishing that end. Not only do they provide an algorithm that gives you content that most satisfies your appetite, but also they've created a reward system within their program to keep content creators constantly peddling content on their platform, but also investing all of their time. TikTok pulled the greatest scheme on American consumers when it was first introduced to our society because it offered a new opportunity to expand an audience at a greater and quicker rate than you could find on any other social media platform. That caused all of us to run to every friend and neighbor we had and tell them, go on TikTok, look, my followers are blowing up. But then also they had a content platform that was addicting like crack, and you couldn't get off of it. So, yeah, your mom may not be a content creator with the interest of going to TikTok to make content, but then she just became addicted to the platform itself and stayed. So it was a beacon for new content creators, but also satisfied or scratched an itch that many of us weren't finding on other platforms. But once they had most of us on the platform and addicted to stay, that's when the bait and switch happened. And very quickly, their algorithm and platform began to mirror most of the Silicon Valley social medias we're stuck with today. You had the illusion of the encouraging old platform, but the walls were quickly closing in. Now you can't just post a video and anticipate the algorithm to do its work. No, they got you in the hamster wheel. And the way to really get your video out there is to go on live. Go on live. We want you on live. And so what did that quickly become? Most of it is just young people in their bedrooms just sitting there. What did I do today? I went to the gym. Yeah, I like kimchi drinks. They're pretty good. My favorite is so-and-so. Like, just answering questions. And they're all alone. They think they're not because I got an audience of 115 people following me. And I'm encouraged to do it because then my other videos get sent to more people on their For You page if I go live. So I'm encouraged to do so. Plus, it's the only way I, as a content creator, see direct money. Something people may not be familiar with, being on live on TikTok, people can give you tips. They'll give you a rose or a pair of sunglasses. The big one that they're all itching for. All the content creators, they just so badly want a galaxy. Can you give a boy a galaxy, please? So what'd they do? Like the example I made of Grand Theft Auto, they've got you sitting in front of a lens for hours, giving all of your time. And again, it may not just be sitting in your bedroom. I did it. I went to Universal Studios and I just walked. Now there's people that sit in their living room and watch you walk around Universal Studios. And instead of just enjoying the park with the companions you brought, the family or friends, no. You're answering questions for Billabong because, hey, do they still have the Shrek ride? No. How much was my turkey leg? Oh, it was $15.65. Yeah. How long is the wait for the... What are we doing? So now people don't necessarily, and I understand those that don't have the ability to go experience a lot of this on their own. It's expensive. So you want to get a little taste of it. But there's also people making lives out of this. They'll spend their whole days watching other people experience life. So they've got the user, the audience, sitting in there just watching other people live life, victory. And then on the other end, they've got you. Yeah, you might be out there experiencing life. You're not just one of those kids in the bedroom just sitting in front of the camera. But now it's kind of like you've got an ankle brace on. You're on house arrest. You can't go anywhere or do anything without the camera on you, watching your every move. Because again, I could just go to the market, or I could go to the market and collect a couple roses and galaxies on my way, and that'll pay for my groceries. But that's nothing new. This weird habit has been around for years now. But there's a new trend developing within this live space that has me very concerned and a little grossed out. Now let me welcome you to the world of NPCs. For those of you who are unaware of this colloquial term, NPC means non-player character, which is a reference to characters in video games that aren't being controlled by actual people players, but are AI or computer-generated characters that either have one-liners or certain already chosen dialogue, or some that are so advanced they're artificial intelligence that responds to your interaction with them, but otherwise are all computer controlled. So what are people making a lifestyle out of? They will go on live and spend hours acting as an NPC. Okay, so take a look here. This is somebody I've seen quite a bit of, and her setup has evolved even greater beyond this as she makes more money doing it and commits to the bit even more. But this was earlier on in her stages, and you could see there's like 4,000 people watching her do this dance. And that's what it is. It's monkey dance, dance, monkey dance. We are going to tip you and control your every move. So we, the audience, are going to give you a rose. And you go, thank you for the rose. They have a select dialogue for everything that somebody tips them. And again, I'm not as familiar with TikTok in regards to how many there are, but there's a lot of different things. You could give them a hot dog. And they all range in value. So not only is somebody bored and desperate enough to go put money in TikTok to get digital gifts that they can tip content creators with, but also I'm not against that. If you like what people are doing so much, I mean, what turns the lights on in the Rethink Tank besides your support, right? I totally get that. At the same time, though, now there are people that are willing to throw away their lives to commit totally to your tips, your digital gift. And it's not even a lot of money, maybe a couple cents. And I get it, it adds up. But you're just sitting in front of a camera doing every dance and move they ask you to or could tell you to. Because there's not much autonomy in being an NPC and doing what we control you to do. The weird concern I have with things like this is, what does this say about the appetite of the audience? What are you logging in for? You want control. That's what this is. You are watching another person dance at your fingertips, and you get to choose what they do. In talking with colleagues, it's hard to find how far down the line this is from OnlyFans. Again, what is OnlyFans but besides my control over someone else? It used to be, I'm just buying content. I'm just Patreon subscribing to your slew of pictures. But OnlyFans doesn't just stop there. It goes steps further into texting and chatting with the person and buying personal content. And that's what's most expensive. Well, now people are saying, give me a galaxy and I'll do an even more special dance for you. I know I sound like the angry old geezer as I'm just poking at this young kids trend, but I think if I let these people speak for themselves, you'll start raising an eyebrow as well. Let me just run through some of these real quick so you get an idea of what we're dealing with.
So spicy. Burr, I'm Cinderella. Thank you for the slippers.
Smells so good. Oh no! Why would you do that? Donut's my favorite.
Spicy chili. Lightning. Lightning.
Someone call 911.
Corn.
Corn. Corn. Corn. Pretty pink shoes. Lovely rose.
Corn. Ice cream so good. Yes, yes, yes. Ice cream so good. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for the heart. It means so much. Thank you for the... I'm a Tyrannosaurus. Just kidding. It means the world.
Ice cream so good. Yes, yes, yes. Meow, meow. Ice cream so good. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for the rose. So good. Yes, yes, yes. That's your choice, Jordan. Sorry. Yes, yes, yes. I pray and hope that you recover from the C word. Yes, yes, yes.
Ice cream so good. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for the likes. Oh, you share the live. What a sweetheart. Thanks for the likes. Oh, True, follow me. Goody, goody, gumdrops. What fun we'll have, True. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes.
And of course, I have some honorable mentions, like this great mother who, while she's doing her digital panhandling for the small amount of online change, she's got to shuffle over so her audience doesn't see in the side corner there her neglected baby who could probably use her attention. But I got fans. I'm building an audience. You've got people that dress up and they'll act as characters, and it makes it fun. Who doesn't love a Luigi that interacts with your tips? But where does it end? I mean, I'd love to pretend I know what's going on with this couple here, but I don't even think they know.
Roses, spicy, hot. Rose, ooh, galaxy number 5. Thank you, NJ. Galaxy number 5. Come here, girl. I love you.
I love you.
I got something for you, though. Gum, glizzy. Woo, gum, glizzy. Roses.
Hey, thanks to the rose. I'll make sure to give those to Peter.
I mean, I'm not going to downplay the fact some of these people do have some real talent. Like this kid that plays Miles Morales, he sounds like him. He does a great job portraying the character. And there's a reason why I could see an audience build around this guy. But also, is this what you're going to build your whole audience to be? At what point are you going to be able to escape this character? Because you're not building this audience to just be an NPC forever. Of course, you want to be like Logan Paul. Build your audience, then go do what you want. Box and make podcasts. But this is the beginning, right?
I'm giving too much work to some of my mods, and I don't like that I'm doing that.
So TikTok rewards you for giving it your time and commitment, and you build this audience. You've got 2,000 people watching you. But are those same 2,000 people going to still be watching you when you start talking about rocks, geology, or space, or the things that truly interest you, what you are actually trying to work for? Or are you just going to be Miles Morales to the day's end?
Let's get up to 300,000 likes, you guys. You guys want me to keep going?
I mean, you check back in with Luigi, the guy's comfortable, having fun, and he's doing it everywhere, so you can't, I mean, the guy's working. But at the same time, you're doing this to avoid work. How has this not become now work? To pay for life, the necessities, food in your mouth, roof over your head, it takes work. And we live in this delusional society today where, well, I just want a communist world where everybody gets one refrigerator, one car, one iPhone. Everybody gets one of every. Who's going to pay for that? That's what everybody says, right? Because, again, you need the worker ants peddling this for us to have anything. So I think a lot of people are attracted to this like a moth to a light because this is my way out. work sucked today. It was so bad and I want out. And yet this is fun. This is doing nothing. And yet now you're stuck doing it every day. And for hours, because once you fall off for a little while, TikTok's not rewarding you as much. So to keep the momentum, you got to keep giving it more and more and more until it's sucked everything out of you, more than even a job would. But speaking of jobs, what's funny is how many people are doing this while they're on the job. From the guys dancing at Wendy's to security officers who I'm assuming should be securing a premises somewhere, but they're just smelling your rose. Gang, 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 gang. But hey, maybe we got a little bit of an Uno reverse situation here, because while our hardworking, functioning members of society are slowly becoming degens, we got our degenerates out here becoming famous TikTokers. I love these two guys. They'll just smoke a crack pipe and then dance whatever you want them to dance. They put no copyright in their description as they sing karaoke, so I think they're good. But you gotta love, it's even got the crackheads working.
Y'all better wake up. We really gonna be on top of the world.
And while I admit I still don't understand the appetite of the people in the audience of this world, I definitely can resonate with why you want to keep giving your content creators glizzies.
Thanks for the glizzy. Thanks for the glizzy. Thanks for the glizzy. Thanks for the glizzy. Hey, Thailand. Gang, gang. Thanks for the cat paws. Meow.
But yeah, this is what this world has done to our men today.
Huh? Aren't you a grown man?
We went from hunting the world's dangerous beasts for food and fighting wars and developing some of the greatest human equipment to dancing like Mickey Mouse or your favorite Marvel character.
Think over the rose. Think over the rose.
Here's the glizzy for you. Take the rose, take the rose, take the rose, take the rose, take the rose.
Those roses are mine. Think over the bouquet of roses.
I mean, come on. This is a great way for a father to raise a son. Wigs, lipstick. Son, this is what puts food on the table. Dance, monkey, dance. I mean, how is this not a death sentence for a dog? Every tip gets the dog fed. Now, she of course puts in the description, he doesn't get more than what he's supposed to eat in a day. This is just me giving him his daily meal. Come on. People love dogs. This is a cycle that fuels itself. You're going to feed that dog more if that means you get more tips. People love feeding dogs, and they want to make sure your dog gets fed, so they're going to keep giving you tips, and then the cycle keeps going until your dog's feet don't even touch the ground. The only thing that touches is its belly, and you've got a sausage roll for a pet. So in the end, here's where I'm at. I think it fuels bad behaviors on both sides, for both the audience and the creator. In regards to the creator, we are encouraging not only freak behavior, but then we've also created this delusion that this is your golden ticket to stardom, and this is how you're going to build an audience just like the Paul brothers, and you'll be able to box whoever you want and have pay-per-views and private jets just as long as you just do the grinding at the beginning. Give us your time, all of your time. We need creators to realize that this audience isn't going to transfer over into what you think it will. But also, it isn't that much of a fruitful audience to begin with. They don't have good intentions for you. They're not subscribing for you and your well-being. They're feeding a different appetite, and probably one we shouldn't encourage, and that's poking and prodding other people for this appetite of control. I am the marionette master pulling the strings, and you just do what I tell you to do. Eat a glizzy. Of course, you're asking yourself, this must be quite the lucrative business if so many masses are willing to sell themselves like an alley-side whore. And you'd be wrong. Of course, there's this delusion being sold to the public by high-end celebrities that this is such a lucrative business, and it only makes sense for you to spend your waking hours in front of a lens dancing. Take this clip from the Canceled podcast from a girl named Tara. I really don't know much about them, but this clip says it all.
So if you see me on live later today going, gang, 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 ice cream, so good, mind your f***ing business. Gang, 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 gang. Bro, so good, wow.
That's pretty good.
Popcorn,
Okay, you get the point, right?
Hot dog, so
The hot dog's so good.
So I'm also, one thing about me is when I find out how much money someone is making doing some outlandish shit, obviously not like some illegal shit, but I mean like something like that.
You'll dabble.
You know, I need to know for myself. In 2 minutes, I made $2,700.
Go live
in
right now.
2 minutes doing that.
Oh,
Like
my God.
normally the gifts come in like so like slower, you know? Like they come in
my
slower because
God.
people are just gifting because they love you, and then you're like, oh my God, thank you, Lacey, for the heart. But everyone like wants to see you do that, so they're just gifting. Like what I made
That is
$2,700 in 2 minutes.
Oh my God, I wonder if there's like little kids who are like running up their parents' card that don't know about it. You know how like
And-
everybody did that on what's it called, like Fruit Ninja or whatever.
Absolutely. But it's like, imagine I did that for an hour.
Do it for an
What's
hour.
2,700 times 60?
Now who do you think
Let
you're
me see.
asking?
It's $162,000. If I did that for 1 hour, I would have made $162,000. Coconut, so good. Wow. Like, why the f is anyone hating on this?
It's not that anybody's out here hating on this. They just want to bring a little reality to the situation. When I take a look at this podcast, right, we're talking about a podcast with an audience that is upwards of 2 million subscribers, and the videos themselves are getting well over 100,000 views, up to 500,000 views, if not more. Something that's easily marketable in this new space, but also already pays for itself. Now, what is her message? She's telling regular people like you and me that if you spend your hours, even though I would get $100,000 an hour, which is wrong math if you were to do her math, but even if we played with her numbers, you should do this. You would. Why wouldn't I spend every waking hour making free just money like a waterfall? Do me the favor and consider your favorite popular world artist, somebody that's world-renowned. That's somebody worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Consider a Tom Cruise or a Tom Hanks or a Will Smith or The Rock. People that are bigger than countries. You would say, oh man, they're the top of the pyramid when it comes to making a buck. Definitely bigger than Tara from Canceled Podcast. They've got private jets. Why aren't they dancing in front of a lens for all of the people? I mean, take like a movie that The Rock does. That just doesn't happen in an hour. Like you say, he doesn't get $100,000 an hour. He's got to invest all of his time in the creation and recording and filming of that movie. Then he has to do promotion for the release of that movie. And then based on asses in seats and the I guess fandom that follows, he gets paid out for all of that time he invested. If the money per minute was that lucrative in, doing TikTok dances and eating glizzies in front of their camera, Tom Hanks would do a much better job being a dancing monkey for us. I know everybody would jump at the opportunity to make Will Smith do a cartwheel on demand. They would be making more than Tara would. And yet, for some reason, they haven't chosen to mine an audience on TikTok and beg for your tips. I have to believe there's a carrying capacity to the never-ending hours of tips that you get from your audience. At some point, yeah, I'm a regular guy and I've got $5 to give to my favorite content creator, but I don't have $5 every week or every month or every year. At some point, there's a carrying capacity. You're the one with the money, not me, and I understand that there's a compensation here. You're creating content that gets me through my week. I want to give back, but I can only give back what I have, and I imagine your audience doesn't have as much as you're expecting, $100,000 an hour. So in the end, TikTok has created this system that rewards that bottomless appetite with breadcrumbs for selling yourself into the nothingness. The truth of your situation is this. You are selling yourself to an audience who craves control, and that leads you down the same path as an OnlyFans creator. The truth is, you're no different than the guy that wakes up in the morning, paints themselves silver, sits in the middle of London Square, pretending to be a statue, begging for tips. Hey, some would say there's a talent there too, and people enjoy the escape from reality and your presence in the park, and they'll throw you a couple bucks. But maybe I'll step in the void of your daddy and tell you what he would have. The harsh reality of life, which is get a real job. And this delusion that this is in replacement of that, you got the same responsibilities. You're going to have to commit yourself time-wise and effort-wise just as, but this is lazy. I get to just sit there. When I walked out of Toronto, I was walking down the street of Toronto, and we walked out of a CVS. There is a guy literally laying in the middle of the sidewalk, and he's just like, change. Listen, I'm not going to divulge into all everybody's individual stories and what got them there and how hard their life is. I get it. At the same time, that is a replacement of having to wake up at 7 or 6, be at a job where you got to clock in and have responsibilities. There are no responsibilities here. You get to work on your own schedule. But if you do want food to touch your tongue or to not be cold at night, you still got to put in some time somewhere. This is that. You just get to think because you're in your bedroom and in your Crocs, it's any different. But let me make it very clear.
I saw her get. Duh! I tried to tell you guys. Anytime you send a galaxy in our live, she shows her get. And she writes her name on the wall and we smoochy smooch. But you gotta send a galaxy.
Yeah. And that is begging for change just as much as this is.
Please give me $1. Oh, I have no money. Just $1. I'm broke too. $1.
So recognize that what you're doing here is digital panhandling. You just can use your girlfriend or your cute child or your puppy dog as bait and dangle it out there for extra tips. But just understand it's just as desperate and just as pathetic as being the person under the bridge shaking an empty can. But also, what's going on with audiences today? You'd rather go watch somebody all day spend a day at an amusement park than you just going and doing it. Or somebody that's sitting at work, even worse. They're just sitting at work. I mean, listen, dude, I got to be here anyway. I got nothing to do, so I'm getting tips. What are you doing tipping me as I'm just sitting here? The problem started with pretty people. People just like staring at pretty people. So this concept of lives really started snowballing because people would just log in by the thousands to look at their favorite pretty TikToker just sit there and tell us what her favorite color is and what she likes to have for breakfast. And I'll give her tips because nobody likes me. I mean, this is an audience of incels. I have no doubt. I'm not opposed to people having dreams. I'm a dreamer myself, building a studio for a show that nobody watches, right? At the same time, though, I recognize that if my goal and side project became everything, then I couldn't be happier. But I also need a plan for the fact that that may not, or is likely not, going to happen. So I need to have a side career. And so it's one thing to go to law school and have a career in your local community that's worth being proud of, and then you spend every one of your outside hours building something badass. But if you are willing to throw career goals and aspirations aside for some delusion of the unlikely, then I'm not going to be the one responsible with my tax dollars to make sure you get fed. That's a problem. We are in a welfare state. So you're allowed to make stupid decisions, but then you don't get to come knocking on my door to make sure there's food in your mouth. I'm all for and resonate with the story of the starving artist, but that's an old world. In today's world, there's no reason any artist needs to be starving. We have more job opportunities than those willing to work. Go create a life for yourself on your own. And then if you have talent and a product worth being consumed by an audience, you will find your way. And there's no need to sell yourself in any other way to get there. Think of somebody like Mia Khalifa. She thought she could spit in the face of her Palestinian community and be a whore on the internet in her hijab. Now she's got nothing. Nobody in our society respects her because she was nothing but a hooer. And at the same time, her own community, in a time of war, who she comes and speaks out in support of, they all hate her because of what she did to disgrace them. So don't sit here and think, oh, well, I had everybody knows my name. Yeah, Mia, everybody knows your name. Not everybody loves it. And more people kind of look down on it than they actually support it. And just so you know, the people that do support it, they just want you on their iPhone screen at 2 a.m. They would never give you a ring. I encourage you to have dreams and never stop striving for them. But it's important to keep those dreams on balance with reasonable aspirations that can put food on your table and create a life worth living. Everything then outside of that is nothing but bonus. Do things for the act of doing them, not for the flashy gold that might come with it. Because that flashy gold may never come. And if it does, there's no chip on your shoulder. No harm, no foul, because you always did what you wanted to do. You always did what you loved. But if you're just sitting there dancing for somebody else and I gotta go put in my couple hours, how's that any different than a dead-end job selling cell phones? It's the same thing. But one of them has a little bit more pride. And I don't think it's you dancing in front of a screen. Before I sign off, I want to check in with Luigi. Where's he at? Where are we at now? Where are we at, Luigi? We're in a wash machine. Okay, we're doing great. Anyway, guys, so here's where I'm at.